Hey guys, UltraWide here. Welcome back to the channel. Super excited to be bringing you a new settings walkthrough video, this time for my new MSI 34-inch QD-OLED ultra-wide gaming monitor. Now this is their model CQPX, their newest one. Again, really excited to be trying this out, especially as a QD-OLED, but also as a different size of a 21:9. Again, 34 inches, I want to see what this is like compared to gaming on my LG 45 ultra-wide. So with that, if you're just for those if you're not familiar with my channel, I do these settings walkthrough videos because what I do is I pin these within the comment section of my POV videos that I do, just so it's a point of reference for anyone who's watching my videos, how I have my monitor set up. Now, I want to note that this is one of those monitors, like many, that, certain settings are only available to you for adjustment when HDR is off. So at the moment, I have HDR turned off here in Windows, and that is so I can actually show you how I have those set up first. Things like brightness and color temperature, right? You can only adjust in SDR mode. Now, bringing up the menu here first, just to show you my picture settings. A lot of this is at default, but I do want to go ahead and note first things first here in the gaming section. If you go to game mode, what I have is this is set to actually to user. By default, it comes with premium color. Again, even as someone who really likes color, premium color is very, very saturated. I find user honestly to be just fine. Now, with that, along with those settings, I also, if you come down here, right, adaptive sync, again, this is something you can turn on if you want. At the moment, I just have this off because I just don't use it when recording, just because the G-Sync, or whenever it's active, it can get picked up by the camera, and it looks like a flicker that I actually don't see. Now, so it's just easier personally for me to just leave it off. Now, I have this connected just for those to give context here. I'm actually using DisplayPort, not HDMI. I have my PlayStation 5 Pro hooked up to HDMI here. Now, going through here in terms of modes, right now this is just in the Pro mode, right? This is just set over to Eco, just largely because of well, that's the default setting in SDR mode. Move this to user as well. That's what I would do. Now, in terms of image enhancement, things like that, I have that set to off here. And now, really the key settings in terms of brightness, I've turned brightness all the way up. That's set to 100. Contrast I've kept at default. The default's to 70. I just left it there. Sharpness is set to 0. And then color temperature, I have that set to normal. Now, again, you could go through customization. However, again, for me personally, I just like leaving that at normal. Now, all things else here considered, the big thing of note, I am using True Black 400 for the display HDR setting. Now, the reason for that, I am running the latest software that firmware that MSI has provided. Now, that firmware we're supposed to correct the peak 1000 nits mode by fixing the ABL. However, it seems like there's still some errors with it. So again, for now, I am still continuing to use the True Black 400 mode. And that's pretty much it, right? Everything else here just kind of gets into the OLED, care, pixel freshing, things like that, whatever it is that you may want to set that up for. But now, with that said, I want to go ahead and bring up and actually turn HDR on here in Windows. We'll do that real quick. And so now this is on, right? I actually have my calibrated profile here for HDR 400 active. And so in terms of all this, you'll see, for example, that I can't actually, mainly here in the image settings, right, I can't adjust brightness or color temperature anymore. But still, everything else here, right, it's still sitting at that True Black 400. Everything else has stayed the same, right, in terms of game mode and the professional mode. And so, yeah, that's really it in terms of the monitor settings. Now, I am using Windows 11 calibration here. Now, I want to note for the calibration in Windows 11 with the tool, in terms of settings there, what I have personally done for the sake of just playing with the image a little bit, the profile I'm using, I've actually, for the Windows 11 brightness calibration pages, I should say, both of them I set to 1000. Now again, I know I'm playing in the 400 mode. I set them to 1000 though because those numbers will transfer over to your RTX HDR settings and allow you to move the peak brightness slider in RTX HDR above 400, right? So that's the reason I've done that through the calibration tool. I think really the only other thing of note is that what I've done in the last page of the calibration tool is I have set the saturation in that slider to 60. That's personal preference, right? You don't have to do that. It's just, again, I do like some of that added or extra color there. Now, outside of that, I have not done anything else here, right? If I bring up my NVIDIA control panel settings, everything is default. I haven't done anything with adjusting, whether it be gamma or digital vibrance, anything like that. That's all default. So everything is pretty, this has been a pretty easy monitor to adjust, at least, for me in terms of my liking and the image I like to play with. I will say I've been very impressed with this monitor in terms of just how the colors pop and everything. I know at the end of the day, obviously, these QD-OLED panels are ultimately coming from Samsung, but whatever MSI has done on their calibration end or whatever, this has been, in my opinion, the best looking monitor in terms of just how colors pop, and even like just some of the elements of brightness and how it handles that. This is, as a panel goes, the most comparable I've seen, and arguably is even a little bit better in terms of overall color than even my LG 45, which has always kind of been my top dog, so to speak, in terms of image quality. So been very impressed with it. I will just say, in terms of my personal preferences, again, the immersion factor is here with this monitor. I know I'm going to enjoy playing on it, especially for my videos and everything. I will say that, again, personal preference though, I do realize that my favorite part of the, for example, LG 45 or just as ultrawides go, that form factor, maybe the 45-inch and 39-inch kind of version of 21:9 gaming monitors, are preferential in my opinion, just because of the vertical height that they provide. Again, for me, as much as I love the image quality on this monitor, and again, you get the immersion there, I do also at the same time feel like I'm looking at one of my old, at the time I had their original Audeze G9, which I loved, but it also just, again, I wish it had more vertical space. So I think for anyone who's questioning, right, this is an absolutely insanely beautiful monitor. It really is. But it comes down to desk space, I think, really is the big thing. You know what I mean? One of the something like the LG 45 or maybe even the Audeze, the old Audeze G9s with 1000 arc curve, you need a lot of desk for that. This, on the other hand, right, 34 inches fits on a lot more spaces, and again, it really is just as immersive. If you get close to it, right, it's you still get that amazing ultra wide experience. And so I'm definitely very excited for you guys to make these videos and for you to see what it looks like for yourself as I record more. But with that, that's really it in terms of my settings. Now, let me know in the comments here what you guys think, especially if you have any questions at all. And of course, keep your eye out for any of my future videos coming out with playing on this monitor. And yeah, with that, I'm going to end it here. I appreciate you all for watching. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.